When it comes to local and imported goods, there are several factors influencing the availability of each commodity, such as climate and land availability. As Trinidad lies 10.5 degrees north of the equator and Tobago lies 11 degrees north of the equator, the islands are warm year-round. There are only two seasons, a dry that lasts from about January to May and a wet that lasts from June to December. Consequently, it is not shocking that there is a limit to the quantity and variety of goods that we can grow. Because of changes in the climate such as rising temperatures and severe conditions such as flood or drought, it is estimated that global crop yields will decline by up to 25% by 2050, rendering foreign exchange no longer easily accessible. Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Trade quoted, food imports were estimated at about 5.67 billion TT in 2019, creating a significant drain on vital foreign exchange. Of that cost, 1.1 billion TT was spent on fruits and vegetables and cereals. She went on to add that we must buy local and support locally made goods and services. There are substantial benefits to buying locally farmed goods, one of which is the environmental impact. Transport has a significant effect on the environment. The distance our food takes to get to us affects the amount of transport-related greenhouse gas emissions that our food generates. If enough people are committed to making a transition to locally farmed goods, it can have a positive effect on the environment. Hi, my name is Alisha. I am a student of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. In an effort to conserve foreign exchange and save money, my group members and I were tasked with a problem-solving workshop that entails setting up home vegetable gardens within the communities of Princess Town to Moruga and evaluating its feasibility, as well as educating people willing to engage in this type of activity.
My name is Kishan. So after meeting as a group and discussing the project details, we aimed to design a combination survey that included open-ended, close-ended, descriptive type, and leaker type questions to gain an overall perspective of the community. This covered the quantitative analysis, while the qualitative analysis consisted of investigating the crops imported into Trinidad and Tobago, as well as various home garden designs that can be implemented in a home at affordable prices. This was accomplished through the use of various online websites. The surveys were done on Google Forms, and because of the COVID-19 protocols, the surveys were sent through WhatsApp to various members of the community. From the analysis of the data obtained from the survey, 86.8% of the participants believes that the introduction of a home vegetable garden will help tackle the recent economic problems facing Trinidad and Tobago, and 94.6% of the participants prefer locally grown crops than imported. In addition, even though some crops are grown locally, they are still imported. Unfortunately, there are some people who are not aware of this. 38.7% of the participants to be exact. As mentioned by Alisha, with Trinidad and Tobago being a tropical country, which is rather warm, the increase of greenhouse gases, such as the carbon footprint emissions from the transportation of products, will definitely have a negative impact on the climate. Sad to say that 32.3% of the survey population are unaware of this. It appeared to be that the majority of the participants prefer the idea of growing beetroots, kale, and cherry tomatoes, since these were the three most popular crops chosen. From the 4 designs recommended, 41.5% of the participants prefer the automatic watering with the use of recyclable bottles, mainly because it incorporates recycling, space and time saving, cost efficiency, and a little maintenance required, to name a few. Like the common method for planting crops in traditional pots, then watering it manually using a hose or a watering can, the automatic watering design, also known as self-watering containers, is an alternative method that offers a constant supply of water to the plants directly to the roots by the use of a reservoir system. The system consists of 2 sections, the water reservoir and the growing section. Also, The principle by which the plants obtain water is through a capillary action that allows porous materials, such as a piece of cloth in this case, to absorb or soak up liquids. Two advantages of utilizing this reservoir system are: number one, the ability of a dependable supply of water, and number two, the growing space is not limited.
Hi, my name is Lachelle Hamilton. For the design, the palette was donated to us free of charge from the groceries. Bottles were obtained from around the house, and the plants and soil were purchased from the agro shops. In countries around the world, particularly in developing countries where hunger and food scarcity are more prevalent, persons are implementing a variety of counter strategies to meet the rising demand and avoid food famine. In recent years, there has been an increase in interest in strengthening and intensifying local food products in order to mitigate the negative impact of global food shock and food price fluctuations. As a result, home gardens are receiving a lot of attention as a way to improve household food security and nutrition. This can be described as a mixed cropping system that includes vegetable, fruits, plantational crops, spices, herbs, ornamental, and medicinal plants that can be used as a secondary source of food and income. Home gardens can provide food to underprivileged and resource-poor households because they can be established and maintained on a small plot of land or with no land at all. Also, home garden could be done by using various designs.
With a measuring tape, measure and carefully cut the bottle with a scissors or X-Acto knife around 6 inches and trim edges as necessary. Carefully make a hole in the cover of the bottle using a scissors or X-Acto knife. Carefully make holes around the bottom half of the bottle. Take an old piece of cloth and cut into long strips. Tie a knot at one end of the cloth and push it through the cover of the bottle. Replace the cover and place the top part of the bottle upside down and place it into the bottom half of the bottle.
Use two 1-inch gypsum screws to screw the bottom half of the bottle approximately half-inch from the top to the pallet. In each row, the bottles should be placed approximately 12 inches apart, center to center, to allow space for the plants to grow, to achieve evenly distributed sunlight and proper airflow around the plants. Fill the bottom half of the bottle with 4 inches or 101.6 milliliters of water.
The top half of the bottle was filled with 6 inches of Van Egmond soil.
Van Egmond Universal Potting Soil substrate were chosen because this soil was the ideal soil that was suitable for houseplants and vegetative crop. The Van Egmond Universal Potting Soil are made from high-end raw material which provides plants with the right ventilation and moisture ratio for the root system of plants. This soil also entails lime and standard fertilizer, which ensures that each plant will have the right amount of main and trace elements available during the first 4 to 6 weeks. Nutrax fertilizer was chosen for all 3 crops. Nutrax is a completely soluble fertilizer that contains a balanced formula with the main nutritional elements, which is supplemented by secondary nutrients. Nutrax is used because it extends the availability of nutrients for root uptaking while minimizing loss to atmosphere and leaching.
Beetroots have more iron than other vegetables, including spinach, and are high in fiber and vitamins A and C. Beetroots aren't fond of crowds, so when sowing the seeds, plant them about 1 inch deep and 3 to 4 inches apart. Beetroots perform best in full sun, though they'll tolerate afternoon shade. Watering beets on a regular basis keeps them tender and prevents discoloration. Ensure to pick off damaged leaves as the plant grows.
Is packed with fiber, iron, calcium, and vitamins K, E, and C. Kale is a simple plant that grows well in both raised beds and containers. Kale grows best in full sun, but will tolerate partial shade as well. To encourage consistent growth, keep the soil moist.
Tomatoes are delightfully sweet. They provide a burst of flavor as a snack, in salads, or even in a surprising variety of both savory and sweet dishes. Cherry tomatoes are high in vitamins and minerals, and that promotes good health. Cherry tomatoes love the sun. Without enough light, your plants will be spindled and not have a good start to life. Cherry tomatoes must be watered consistently. Uneven watering can promote a blossom end rot and cause the fruit to crack open.
Deep watering is required for newly planted plants to establish their young roots. This is why people look for alternatives that will assist them in meeting these requirements. Self-watering pots are useful because they intelligently irrigate your crops when and as needed, conserving water and allowing you to go about your daily activities without worrying about stunted growth or plants dying from thirst. However, you should exercise caution due to the potential problems with self-watering pots, which include: Number 1. They can be rich breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Self-watering pots must have drainage holes. Unfortunately, They provide an ideal breeding ground for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes will lay their eggs there, and when they hatch, the mosquito population will multiply due to the perpetually wet conditions. Flush the water in your planter every 3 days to prevent mosquito breeding.
Number 2. Not all plants thrive in self-watering planters. Self-watering pots are not suitable for succulents, orchids, or other plants that require their potting soil to dry between waterings. These plants will suffer from root rot as a result of the constant moisture. Do your research to avoid the frustration of planting the wrong plants in your self-watering pots.
Number 3. Potential concentration of toxic mineral salts. The higher the concentration of various mineral salts in the planting mix is a significant challenge with self-watering planters. This is primarily due to the fact that water is constantly drawn up from beneath the pot and evaporated through the top, leaving dissolved minerals behind. Mineral salt builds up can be harmful to the plant in the long run. If harmful salty buildup occurs, your plant leaves will turn brown and dry, removing the water reservoir and flushing the soil with tons of fresh water may be effective.
Referring back to what Lachelle mentioned about home gardens being able to improve household food security and nutrition, adding fresh vegetables to your daily meals is the best way to improve your health as well as the health of your loved ones. It's nice to eat out or order takeout every now and then, but restaurant food and fast food pale in comparison to homemade meals made from fresh, sustainable ingredients. Organically grown vegetables are more flavorful and healthier than store-bought meals since they are loaded with essential nutrients that promote better health, such as antioxidants and vitamins. According to studies, children who are fed homegrown produce are twice as likely to eat 5 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables per day as children who rarely or never ate homegrown vegetables. Stocking up on fresh produce grown in the yard means having more food to enjoy for weeks, if not months, without having to spend a fortune on store-bought vegetables. Try growing your own crops if you want to save money on groceries. You will be amazed at how much money you will save by growing your own food. When you grow your own food, you are less likely to overlook fruits and vegetables. You are also more likely to save or consume your supply before it spoils. Gardening is inherently eco-friendly, especially if you grow vegetables without the use of any chemicals. Growing food organically means reducing pollution to the earth's water, soil, and air. As mentioned from before, because you are purchasing less produce from the supermarket, you are not contributing to the use of fossil fuels from transporting fruits and vegetables to your local grocery store. While we can't eliminate imports entirely, we can certainly do more to make a conscious decision to choose local over imported produce when the option is available. Local produce takes less time to get from the yard to our plates than imported produce, seen as fresh produce begins to lose nutrients as soon as it's harvested. Local produce is fresher and retains more nutrients, and the food tastes better when eaten at its peak of freshness. Purchasing food from Trinidad and Tobago's agro-food industry also benefits our local farmers, allowing them to produce and sell more and guaranteeing that the money we spend returns to the Trinidad and Tobago economy for more robust growth. When given the choice between imported and local, choose local since it is better for our health, the environment, the economy, and the future of our country. This brings us to the end of our presentation. We are extremely grateful for the opportunity to share with you our new idea. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Also, be sure to please like our video by hitting the like button and add any thoughts or questions in the comment section down below.